Hi, it was looking very dark there. What I've learnt from starting a YouTube channel, and at the moment I have 97 subscribers. Thank you to anyone that's subscribed. I don't know why it's so dark all the time. Let me have a look. No, do I need to be closer? Anyway, I was trying to film some videos and I thought I'm just going to go live because I'm struggling a bit with the whole there's nobody there. I mean, I know there's nobody there now watching me, but the idea that it's live makes it feel a bit more like a normal conversation than just hitting record and coming up with some opening statement, sentence, hook, whatever. Anyway, small micro channel. If you're thinking about setting one up, what have I learned? And even though it's super small, the first thing I'd say is about the word success. You're probably going to have in your mind that you want to be monetized and you want to meet 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and that can be the goal, but I don't think that's the success. For me, success was just getting myself to do it, getting myself to hit record and commit to it, and it definitely helped with sort of making this big promise of I'm going to do a daily document your journey. It really helped because there were some days where I didn't want to hit record, and wasn't just about not having anything to say or not feeling like I had the right thing to say. There was a lot of emotions about I'm embarrassing myself. What are other people thinking? I'm not very good at this, and I may not be very good at this for quite a long time to come. And particularly about people I know, but I'm not I don't really know, as in I don't know that they've got my best interests at heart. And I was overly concerned about what those people thought, and how insane they would think I am for just even trying to do something like this, and sort of ideas above your station. So for me, success was I'm on day 46 of documenting my journey, and there are people that are following me, and I quite clearly am figuring it out. There's no pretense here. For the documenting your journey videos, I don't have makeup, I don't dress up, I'm struggling with my lighting, all these things I'm clearly figuring out. And the people that have subscribed are just open to that, and that's really nice. And for me, that's my own mini version of success, is that I hit record, I shared it, and now I'm getting data and feedback. And now I can work on that. And part of the data and feedback, which is kind of the second thing about what I've learned from doing the YouTube, the data and the feedback is there's lots of advice about targeting your audience and doing different things like that. Well, I feel like I'm not sure who my audience is, or I definitely don't know how to target them or describe them. I'm kind of curious who resonates with me, who listens to me and thinks, I'm like her, or I'm figuring things out, or I can geek out on certain topics, and maybe I want to make something, but I'm holding back, or I'm feeling conflicted, or I see that I show the cartoons in the live. I show the cartoons. I do a lot of cartoons. It's all about self-expression. I'm trying to connect to people, and I'm trying in the cartoons, for me, it's kind of like this is the quickest way. This is who I am. This is what's going on in my internal dialogue, and I'm trying to connect with that. I've digressed, haven't I, from the data point. You will get data. You will get some comments saying about how you should present yourself and what you should do, and that's okay. But you'll also get people saying, some really, really kind people who take the time to write a comment and say, "Yeah, I feel this way too," or "Yeah, I've been wondering about this," or I had somebody write a comment saying, "This is great," about a video I did on YouTube, and she said, "This is the reason that I come to YouTube, to have people talk like this." I was like, "Oh my goodness," that she took the time to write that to me, a complete stranger, and I felt like those are the people that I'm trying to reach, not the people that I have to, in a way, manipulate and do some sort of catchy title for and pretend that I'm further along than I really am. I'm trying to find people that are completely fine that I'm figuring it out. They're fine that the thumbnails aren't great. They're fine that I don't know, the titles aren't catchy enough. I'm trying to find those people. So in terms of, I say, the success of how I feel, whether I'm succeeding, and in terms of like the data and the feedback and how the channel is working, I'm trying to I'm trying to find, I think I mentioned this before, this 1,000 true fans, the people that are completely fine with me being me, even though both of us would like me to get better at doing this. But we're both okay with this is where she's at, and I'm curious what she's got to say about different things, and some of the stuff resonates, and I'm here for that. And as I'm kind of going off track a little bit. I was starting with talking about success, wasn't I? And then the data and the feedback. I was worried about the feedback. I was worried about what data I would get back. And I've noticed that when I look at YouTube analytics, obviously you can see when somebody subscribes, you can see what video they've watched. And I can see that it would really be tempting to make more of that. And the experts say do that. But I haven't found my feet enough to go, I don't know, harder on a particular subject just because people are talking about it. I thought I was creating a how-to channel. I've ended up doing more of, this is my documenting the journey. And so I don't know. I feel like, am I really talking about myself more rather than teaching something? I don't know what the balance is. I don't I don't know. And so although people subscribe and that's lovely, I I don't want to go off in a particular direction trying to attract other people to subscribe. As I say, it feels a little bit manipulative right at this moment because I'm not clear about this is my topic area. This is what the channel is all about. I still feel like being this micro small channel is that this is my chance to experiment. And that's one of the things I would say, that if you are worried about setting up a YouTube channel, if if you're still figuring it out and the videos are not so great and you're stumbling through them a bit, you'll probably find not many people watch. But that's really quite good because that gives you a chance to figure it out yourself. You'll be learning the tech and stuff as you go. But in terms of the people that you want to connect with and the things that you're happy to talk about and happy to talk about again and again and again and geek out over, you're going to figure that out. I hope. I do feel like I'm figuring things out. I feel like I've narrowed things down, but at the same time, that's added in more confusion because previously I thought I was here to talk about self expression and, sort of speaking and how you connect with people. But people are watching the documentary journey videos where I'm saying, I don't know what I'm doing. So I do wonder whether part of this channel is me showing up as me and saying, this is the stage I'm at. I'm interested in this and I'm really happy to talk about it. And other things I'm fitting out this medium of how to talk to a camera. Does that help? So what else have I learned? You learn a lot about the YouTube analytics, and it's definitely going down a rabbit hole. You start One of the things I think was really interesting is that I thought that people who subscribed had probably watched the whole of a video. Like some of my videos are only 1.5 minutes long. I thought they'd have at least watched the whole of it. I'm not sure that they have. I think sometimes people either gel with you or not and think, yeah, I'll subscribe. I'm curious what else she'll make. It's more casual than I thought. It's more, maybe she'll talk about something in the future. I'm curious what she's going to do and where she's going to go next. And that's a surprise, but kind of nice. And it's also a reminder that it's not as serious. That I have had subscribers leave, and I have to remind myself that I subscribe to people and then I leave sometimes, and that's all fine. I saw a little flash then, but I think it went to 10 minutes, and I was thinking, oh, has somebody joined the live stream? And I must admit, I felt my stomach go a little bit then. That was another thing about having a small channel. It's okay if nobody turns up for the lives, but it does give you a different experience of speaking to the camera. There's a little bit more adrenaline going. And if you can calm yourself down and think, talk. And I think also people expect something different in a live, that they know it's not scripted, and that can be quite useful too. So if you're thinking, and I'm imagining you haven't started a channel. If you're watching this video about what's it like to have a channel up to 100 subscribers, you probably haven't started yet. So I'm just trying to tell you things that I've figured out. Oh, one of the things I figured out is I'm talking every day to camera. I've started talking more to my husband and my mom and my daughter about my work. Previously, I felt like their eyes glazed over a little bit when I started geeking out about stuff, or they didn't understand. And now it seems to be that I try harder to explain, or I'm quite clear about, I'd like you to understand. I'd like you to listen to this. I want to talk about my work. I want to talk about things that I care about. And that was completely unforeseen. I thought I'd kind of accepted that my work is my work, and the things that I get excited about are just that. And that my mom, for example, doesn't understand what I'm really interested in as a subject. And I thought, well, that's okay. But something has happened, and it wasn't conscious. I didn't think to myself, I'm going to explain my work to those that are near and dear to me. It just naturally happened that it was almost like an insistence of, this is important, and I'm going to keep trying to explain this to you, why this is important. I hadn't appreciated how different the experience of explaining yourself is when you're speaking to writing, because I've been doing a lot of writing, and that's satisfying to articulate yourself and to give time to think about it. But speaking is a different experience, and even speaking to a camera and not really sure how many people are watching, or I mean, some of my videos have no views. So it is possible that this live will get no views. Kind of funny, really. Kind of crazy way to spend your day speaking to a camera. But as I say, it was a surprise that the knock-on effect was, I do want to speak, and I do want to be understood. And it matters to me that those people that are close to me understand how important this is to me. And not as a serious thing, not as a grumpy, I'm annoyed with everyone, just as in, I want time in this conversation too. And these are the things that are important to me to talk about. Yeah. So that was fun part of having a new micro channel. The other thing I've realized, I was concerned that people would look at the videos and think, oh, she's crazy. And who does she think she is? And there may well be lots of people that are doing that, but nobody's reached out to me and said that. The people that have reached out to me have said, "Wow, that's brave," or "I could never do that," or "I can't imagine me doing that," or "How do you get yourself to do that?" Or "I think I'm gonna try a month-long series of videos myself," or, how are you natural and relaxed?" All these kind of things people are asking me, and it's not necessarily how I see myself when I'm doing the video, but that's the response. And I think you may be surprised about, again, it goes back to the data that you receive, data and feedback. You can worry a lot about the type of feedback that you're going to get, but you may be surprised about how people are seeing you. It's got nothing to do with how you feel inside. And I think that's quite a useful thing to do. I've seen loads of videos lately about people specifically aimed, I think they call them Gen Xers, like over 40, over 50, over 60. And they're saying, you need to do a YouTube channel and whatever. And I think a lot of us can't imagine reinventing ourselves in such a public way. I mean, there are times when I've put videos up and I've gone to bed that night and I've just been so embarrassed, but almost to the point that I felt humiliated by myself. As in, like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm trying to do this in a conversational, relaxed way, which means I'm not scripting things. It's not following a formula. I know that there are things that I'm doing wrong. There are things that I'm doing wrong deliberately in a way because I'm trying to explore and express myself. But there's also things that I'm doing wrong that I it is just too overwhelming to figure out and do everything right, if that makes any sense. Do the thumbnails, do the title, do this, look in the camera. It's like it's too much. It's too much. I just have to focus on turning the camera on, speaking, and again the next day, and again the next day. So that's another thing that I've been figuring out. What else? What else would you like to know about having a micro channel? There's going to be times where you want to take all the videos down. There's going to be times when you're really embarrassed. And nothing about other people. Well, you may get other people. I've had people comment about my clothes and my hair and inappropriate things. And it's, in a way, they're easier to manage because you just block them. There's nothing really to do about that. I was asked, this was earlier when I was doing Facebook stuff. I was asked once if I would marry somebody, and I thought, okay, I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't just block them straight away. But I was thinking, oh, maybe there's a misunderstanding. What, I don't know. That's inappropriate. But I'll tell them it's inappropriate. And so I said that, and then he wrote back saying, "Do you have any friends who would marry me?" I was like, this person has no idea about normal rules of society. You don't contact somebody on Facebook and ask them to marry you. So you may well get stuff like that, but in a funny way that's easier to manage. The things that are closer to home, people you meet, knowing that for me, knowing that the moms at the school gate, some of them have seen me on Facebook and know that I'm doing videos and figuring it out, and they may say to me, "Oh, I've seen you doing videos," and then the conversation ends, and you're like, "Oh, that's awkward." So you're going to get that. I think, oh, gosh almighty, have you noticed I keep spitting when I talk? I'm so sorry. Let me have a bit of a drink. I think if you're curious about doing a YouTube channel, what you need to accept is that there's a part of you that is curious about doing the channel. There's a part of you that's wondering, is that possible for someone like you, in your personality, your situation in life, everything? Is it possible for somebody like you? But there's also going to be parts of you that think, I do not want to do that. And I'm going to embarrass myself. And maybe if you get good at being on camera, then you'll share a video. I don't think it works like that. I think you need to be sharing stuff. In fact, my taste in videos is I like the ones that are more conversational rather than the polished approach. So maybe it's useful if you're thinking of having a YouTube channel to actually think about the kind of people that you follow and watch. And crikey, if you've got this far into watching my video alive, 20 minutes in, then it may be that you prefer somebody just being a bit chatty and being themselves. You may prefer them to get to the point and have a point as well, which is fair enough. Dear me. So what else? What else have I learnt and figured out from this? I've figured out some tech stuff. I'm still I thought I'd figured out the lighting, but it seems to be changing again. I figured out, oh yeah, tech editing. I use an app called Descript, who have bought a company called Squadcast. So they record. I record in something called Squadcast. You send the file to Descript, and in Descript you get to edit, but instead of being like a time, there's a timing bar, timeline, I think they call it, at the bottom, but you can edit the words. So I can just cross out a whole sentence, and that cuts out of the video that whole part of the video where I was saying those words. You can also on Descript cut out ums and ahs. I don't, because I don't mind some. And if I think my very, very first few videos, because I was so nervous, I was doing more ums and ahs, but I was more determined to stop doing that in real life and just stop using them than I was to just edit them out later. But that's kind of my background in doing public speaking and stuff. I don't mind a few ums and ahs, and I definitely do them. It's part of the conversation. But I know in Descript you can edit them out. You you can edit through in the timeline, but I found it easier to track and to follow what I was doing through that. You can also do clips and everything through that app. And what I wanted was an app that ideally I could do as much as possible in, because I was struggling to remember passwords and logons and how all the other apps work. So I do like this app. This app. The daily document your journey I do just on the phone, and I upload from the phone. I don't edit. I haven't been doing um, the words bit. What do you call it when? What's it called? It's not called a transcript, is it? The words, when the words pop up. I have been putting the words on the main videos. I'm not sure if that's better or worse, but that's easy to do in Descript, so that's quite good. So yes, been learning some things about the tech. What else do you want to know? What else would help you if you were thinking about? You see, I'm overthinking it, aren't I? Instead of saying, what have I learned from having a YouTube channel? I'm trying to think how to help you. I think I have felt some pressure to declare a niche and to say, this is what I'm going to talk about, and only this. And I've looked at a few other people that I've been following, and I've definitely felt like I'm not following them just because they're talking about this topic. I'm following them because I feel a bit of a connection to them, and I'd be interested in their opinion about a few things. So that's my taste, and I suppose that's influencing what I then go on to create. I'm ideally looking for people who are okay with my voice. You know, I can't pretend to be I mean, I'm hoping to get more relaxed and more myself. You know, right at this moment, I'm thinking, am I talking too fast? Am I talking too slow? You do get in your head a bit when you're talking to camera. What else have I learned? What else have I learned? I've learned that it helps to put if I'm gonna do these kind of recordings, these longer recordings, I need to put makeup on before I do the school run. That's what I've learned. Because if I do the school run and come back, I'm in a different mindset. I'm thinking about house stuff and other things. But if I've got the makeup on, it doesn't take long, but it does take some effort and thought that I'm like, okay, get in the studio, hit record. Don't know what you're talking about. That's okay. Oh, the other thing I've learned is that in terms of my week and the schedule, every Tuesday I've said to myself, I'm going to record a longer thing. And every Tuesday, other things have been coming up, and it's ended up being the Wednesday when I record. And it's like, okay, this is a bit of a pattern now. Monday is things to do with the home, things to do with the calendar, appointments, letters, everything like that. That's quite a good routine. Tuesday, I say to myself, get on with the recording, but there is work and there's normally some overflow from Monday and there's normally some writing or thinking stuff to be done before hitting record. And it was only yesterday that I realized that. And I thought, well, that's quite useful because then I'm not beating myself up saying, why didn't you hit record? It's like, no, the longer record day tends to fall on the Wednesday. And that's quite useful. I don't know whether I've mentioned or whether you've seen any videos of me that I have been diagnosed with chronic fatigue. So I found that Thursday I tend to need to rest. And it's like, okay, this is what to expect. This is going to be the work pattern. Keep doing the very short 1.5 minute document your journey. Keep getting on camera, keep sharing, keep doing that and figuring that out. But the longer, more experimental YouTube channel videos, it's probably going to be the Wednesday. You wouldn't think it takes that long to learn and figure something out like that, but it does. It's been, what is it, 1.5 months? 1.5 months, and I'm only just figuring out that Tuesday is a no film and Thursday is a rest day. Quite shocking. So, yeah, you're going to learn things about your own rhythm and your own pattern. I think in terms of the embarrassment factor and getting the videos done, from my own experience, is that it started to feel more comfortable and feeling like I do have the courage to do this. But there are definitely moments when I think, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Being so public and nobody's making me be this public. I write books and I could quite happily just keep writing books and keep hiding. But like I say, there was part of me that has been wanting to do this. I would like to be good on camera. And I know that the only way to get better is to be doing it because I've already done loads of reading and learning and watching other people. And I've already done all those other parts. This is the bit that I haven't done. And resistance. Yeah, have you heard of Stephen Pressfield? Stephen Pressfield wrote the book The War of Art. Highly recommend it. He talks about the war of resistance and resistance being sneaky and coming up. It's like, oh, you don't have the right equipment. Oh, you don't know this and you don't know that. And it's like, no. And he says about resistance that the bigger the resistance is, the more there's a part of you that knows that this is important and this is what you've got to learn and what you've got to do. Anyway, I am thinking of drawing it to a close. I think my last live was about half an hour, and it is again. It's weird to think I've just spoken for half an hour. I hope that if you see this and you know that I have 97 subscribers, I hope if you're wondering about it for yourself, you realize that it's all okay. It's okay to be a small channel. In fact, there are bonuses to it. It's okay to want to grow, but not really know what you're doing and figuring it out. It's all okay. And I hope you find that little bit of courage to it may not be a video, it may not be that for you, it may not be doing the YouTube, it may be just sharing some of your ideas or speaking up in a meeting at work or showing somebody a painting that you've done. It's still public, isn't it? It's still, this is me out there. I hope you do that. I hope you have the courage to do that. Bye bye. I don't know why I nodded at you then. Bye bye.